Well, hey, bitch. Listen, this video here is for my Islanders, okay? My USA Islanders at that, all right? Y'all know that Bria Bryant was a part of the cast of Love Island USA season 4. And unfortunately, my girl ended up going home because they chose to keep Maddie, okay? A person that decided that she was going to let everybody know that she's going to bow out and allow these other ladies to have an opportunity at Love. When I wish she would have did that when Andy was leaving a long time ago, the way she was up there crying. She was crying because she really didn't want to stay and wanted to be eliminated for real, if you ask me. But anyway, y'all know Miss Bria caused quite the uproar amongst the fans because she went after Timmy, and a lot of the fans were already, in love with Zeta and Timmy. All right, Miss Bria came in to bombshell it up and to interrupt what was happening between the couple. She wanted her chance at Timmy to see if things could actually grow as it needed to. Okay, and unfortunately, it did not go anywhere. Timmy ended up going back to Zeta, and at a later time, we ended up seeing, girl, not too much long after she got dumped by Timmy, she ended up getting dumped by the island. All right. So now she's out here. She's doing an interview. And I want to recap this interview with you guys over here from screenrant.com. Okay. So they did get the interview, the Love Island USA Bria Bryant interview. Okay. They say that Bria Bryant tells Screen Rant about her Love Island experience and what might have happened with Timmy if she hadn't been dumped in the villa. Okay, if she wouldn't have been dumped from the villa, we gonna learn what could have happened. Okay, so they say when Timmy decided that he still felt a strong connection with his Love Island USA day one partner, Miss Zeta, his choice sadly sent Bria Bryant packing. But I feel like that wasn't necessarily his choice. I feel like that was some of her choice. Okay, and ultimately it was the choice of the ladies that stuck around because she actually was trying to develop a connection with Jeff, even though she couldn't help but keep putting her eyes over there on Timmy. So who knows? She could have had a hidden agenda where she was still going to go after Timmy and try and get him to turn his head. But it seems like once he let her down in front of Zeta, like that's all that needed to be said. She seems like she was going to really try at Jeff. So I thought, but anyway, we never got a chance to fully see that because y'all eliminated her from the island. Okay. Y'all have been doing terrible jobs when it came down to eliminating people. And we'll start with Val because that was the first bad mistake that y'all made, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and keep going. They say the New Jersey native came onto the series as a bombshell with her brother Chaz and quickly caused a rift between Timmy and Zeta. After being with Zeta since episode 1, Timmy was ready to get to know some other Islanders. Bria, with her confident presence, showed up just in time. Now, while Bria didn't get the chance to pick her own partner, her brother noticed her connection with Timmy. I feel like Bria did choose her own partner. I feel like behind the scenes, she already told her brother who she was interested in and who she was going to go after, okay? I think she gave her brother confirmation at some point, and that's why we ended up seeing the both of them getting to know each other. Okay. So what else ended up happening? They're saying that when it was time to couple up, he thought that the New Yorker, Mr. Timmy, would be a perfect fit for his sister. So he thought, okay, let's go ahead and keep going. Now they say, unsurprisingly, this didn't go over well with Zeta. The Islander wasn't pleased to be sleeping in a bed alone and watching Timmy cuddle up with a new partner that he ended up kissing on the same night that he didn't sat up here and cuddled up with Miss Girl. Let's talk about it, okay? Now, when a new bombshell, Jeff, decided to arrive on the island, she quickly got to know him. At least that's what Zeta did, all right? So when she was given the chance to steal Timmy back during recoupling, she instead went with the bombshell, which was so stupid. And some of this, I kind of blame a little bit on my girl Zeta, just slightly, guys. I do, because Zeta, had you not been playing games and went ahead and coupled up with Timmy, then Jeff could have went ahead and chose Bria, or Bria could have chose Jeff, and they would still be in the game. But you was out here playing games, and I really hate that. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, y'all had the choice to keep her. The other girls outnumbered her because they were closer with Maddie, even though we know you were kind of pulling for Bria. And they went with Maddie. And I know that was all because of Deb's influence, because she feel like she got a twin sister out of this girl. But anyway, honey, because that got me upset. Now, when she wasn't keeping a watchful eye on Timmy and Bria, she was pulling the male Islander aside to tell him how much she missed him. Okay. Now, this put Bria and Jeff in a very uncomfortable position, as it did. Okay. Feeling like they were not being prioritized traumatized by the contestants that they were coupled up with. Now, finally, Zeta confronted Timmy about the situation. And of course, Bria approached them to see what's going on between the both of them. And this is when Timmy made the decision to go with Miss Zeta instead of going with Miss Bria. Okay. And it really left Miss Bria extremely upset. She was just crying all over the place. And I just really felt bad for her. Like nobody really consoled her. None of those just in the villa consoled her. I mean, we saw Zeta do it at a later time, but Maddie, Deb, and Courtney, y'all was literally like Maddie and Courtney was up there wiping their makeup off. I felt the way because Maddie, you should at least know somewhat of how she felt because you was over there crying and everybody hugged, gathered around you and cuddled you up. So I feel a way about it. But anyway, let's get to the interview, okay? So one of the questions is, what is it like entering the villa later in the competition as a bombshell? Did you feel excluded by other islanders since you weren't one of the original contestants? And this is what Miss Bria had to say. She says, it made things more difficult. Time is of the essence in the villa, and being a week behind, feeling like you're a week behind, the opportunity to make connections with certain people, it kind of sucks. It makes you have to work twice as hard, and it gives you immediate obstacles that you have to overcome just to have a fair chance at some of these opportunities that everyone else had on day one. I felt really cool about the guys. I didn't feel excluded in that way, but I did feel excluded with the ladies. I honestly felt like I was a threat, and some people saw me as a bigger threat than others. And that is why they chose to exclude me, because there were other bombshells that came that weren't treated that way. That's very true. Maddie is an example. She says she was welcomed with open arms. Maybe Val wasn't. It was almost as if any bombshell that came in that kind of wanted to pursue a relationship with someone who the Islanders felt like were already in a strong couple. We were kind of treated as a certain type of way, is what she's saying. It was really difficult in that way for me. But I feel like that's not really an uncommon thing. A lot of bombshells, when you come in, you crashing in on somebody else's man. So it's not going to feel comfortable. Like you shouldn't be made to feel comfortable unless he chooses you, then we got to deal with you type thing. So, I mean, I guess y'all let me know y'all thoughts about Bria being excluded and what her thoughts were, about that. I mean, I don't think Val was fully welcomed, but I don't think Val gave a damn either. You know what I'm saying? Like you intruding on somebody else's coupling. So I mean, you want them to be like, oh, hey, yeah, come on in. Yeah, crash in on her man and let's see how this is going to go. Like they already made a connection. So it definitely was unfortunate for you that when you came in, you could barely make connections with the guys, in my opinion, and the girls, even though the guys treated you like pretty cool, right? So the other question is, did you have any influence over who Chaz chose to be your partner, or was it solely based on who he thought was best for you? She said it was honestly based on what he thought was best for me. Girl, I don't believe that. You need more people. I obviously was able to connect with Chaz and tell him, hey, this is the person. Hey, this is what this person told me. This is the kind of vibe I'm feeling from this person, and give like an overview of the conversations I had with the other guys I was interested in. Ultimately, he picked who he felt like was best for me, and I just trusted him in that moment to do so. So I also feel like, yeah, you trusted your brother, but he made the ultimate decision based on the influence that came from you and who you felt that you wanted to be coupled up with. So I think that you had a lot of influence, even though you say that you didn't, but it doesn't matter, at this time. What else did she say? She says the question is, if you were to choose your own partner, would you have gone with Timmy as well or someone different? She says, at the moment that I came into the villa, I would have chosen Timmy. But if Jeff was there, I would have chosen Jeff. I just didn't have the opportunity to explore it. I'm bummed about that, honestly. Well, y'all probably still could connect, after the show, you and Jeff. But honestly, I don't think you would have went for Jeff either. I think if it was between Jeff and Timmy, you still would have chose Timmy, because I think Timmy is ultimately your type. And you also said it yourself, Jeff is handsome, but Jeff looks like he's a good smash. And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. But I think that Timmy would have gave you the affection, the PDA, all of the things that you may have wanted. You saw that in Timmy. You know what I'm saying? So I think you would have still went for him whether Jeff was already there or not, period. Okay. The other question is, what was the dynamic between you and Zeta aside from what the viewers saw in the episodes? Okay. She says, hopefully you guys got the gist of it. It was really her going out of her way to start drama and exclude me and not to give Timmy and I a fair chance to explore a relationship. It's really hard to do that when you choose someone and then the other person is making it a point to kiss them behind bushes or have conversations with them and ask them, do you miss me? Do you want to kiss me? Things like that. It's really, really difficult when someone's persuading someone else to not build a connection with you. It's really hard, but it's also, it's like, I'm sorry, y'all, I can't agree with this. She still had a stronger connection with him. I feel like this is not an uncommon thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you saw Sydney go over there and link up with Andy the whole time. She was still missing Isaiah. Isaiah flipped out. They still over there kissing or whatever. She coupled up with Andy. Like, this is not a uncommon type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was, in my opinion, I just feel like Zeta was already there. The connection was already established between she and Timmy. So it's not like she owed you anything to allow you any time to get to know anybody, because at the end of the day, she was going after what it is that her heart wanted, even though she was out here acting the fool as far as choosing Jeff. So if that's what you really wanted, then I guess you could have applied more pressure, because at the end of the day, and I'm sure you said this somewhere as you were getting ready to come on the show, you don't really care how nobody else feels. You there to see if you could find a connection with somebody. So you should have just focused on that. And for you to try and throw this out here like Timmy was your man and she shouldn't have been behind no bushes kissing him and asking, do you miss me? Like, it doesn't matter, because if you go back and watch that, Timmy was the one that pulled her closer. Timmy pulled her closer. He told her how good she looked. Timmy was the one that kissed on her. Timmy said that these other girls ain't you. So it's like, it sounds like you're trying to be upset with Zeta, when I think that some of that accountability or whatever you try to put out there should also be put out there on Timmy. Okay, because Timmy was wrong for even making you think that you had an opportunity when you really didn't. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you would have an opportunity outside of the villa. And maybe in the villa, he could be playing the game and he knows that America is on the side of Zeta. So if he wants any chances at winning, then he's going to ride with where he been at. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, it could be that, or it could be he's all the way into Zeta. I don't know, but I just feel like for you to put that all on her and not really put it off there on Timmy, because at the end of the day, Timmy didn't have to go. Timmy was very clear about like, nah, that's disrespectful. I'm not going to kiss you. Timmy could have did a lot of stuff. All right. Timmy chose not, he still, like, he said one thing, but he did something else. So I mean, like, it is what it is, and it sucks because it wasn't you. I don't know if it's gonna be you later, but in this moment, it's not you, and you probably wouldn't even want him later, which would be good for you. You know what I'm saying? But I do want to call out Timmy's IG page, and I did write on their page, and I had to call their ass out. And they may really know Timmy's type, and maybe Zeta's not his type, but I truly felt the way because I'm sitting up here like, why are y'all following Bria's page? That's what I'm not understanding. Like, why are y'all following Bria's page but not following Zeta's page, the person that he's actually coupled up with? And yeah, Zeta is, I'm not sorry, Zeta's very beautiful, but Bria's beautiful too. She has a very nice body. I also see that she leads with that body too. Okay, that's how she hooked the guys in. But I hope that at a later time she has the personality to really hook them in as well. The way she cries, she says it always happens to her. Like, she leads with her body, she gets the guys, she pulls them in. But as soon as they started to see, I guess, how she is as a person, I don't know, whatever that is, they always flip the table on her and be like, yeah, no, I'm cool, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what kind of energy she's giving off, but she definitely cried and said this always happens, which is so interesting to me, because one moment you crying talking about women always jealous, as if that's something that always happens to you, and then turn around and be like, oh, the guys always want to let me down and not be with me or whatever as soon as they get to know me. So yikes. Either way, I hope you're working on that. A gorgeous girl. I think she'll find her person. It just wasn't here. Okay, so let's keep going. All right. So the question is, you broke down during your last episode on the show over not feeling good enough. What is it like to be that vulnerable on a show being streamed throughout the country? Do you think your vulnerability can help other women watching who might be feeling the same way as you? She says, I'm glad you brought that up. I did want to clear the air with that. I think that people are kind of misinterpreting how I felt in that moment. And there were other things discussed in that vulnerable moment that may not have been shown. But ultimately, what I was saying was not that I never thought that I was good enough. I've always felt good enough. I always felt like I was the total package, just delivered to the wrong address. Okay. Well, when you say that you feel like you were the total package, I mean, I feel like it does come off like you saying that you're not good enough for that person if you was delivered to the wrong address. Because if you give me a package in my house and I'm like, what the fuck is this? This ain't what I order. I don't want that. Okay, yeah, the package probably gonna feel like it's not good enough. Okay, so it still, to me, confirms what your original statement was. You said that we misinterpreted it, but I think we interpreted it accurately based on when you were sitting in that room. You know what I'm saying? And it came out your mouth. All right. She says, you can be beautiful, but it's not going to make a man treat you any differently. They're going to treat you the way they want to treat you, no matter who you are. That is a very true statement. It happens to the best of them. It happens to celebrities or people in general all the time. That's more so where I was coming from. I was just tired of dealing with guys who don't treat you right, even though you are the full package or everything that they might be looking for or wanting in a woman. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you wasn't there long enough for him to really see like what all you fully have to offer type. I mean, I don't know. Something, I don't know. I guess I still stand by the first statement. You know, you could be the bomb, think you the full package, think you got it going on. The moment somebody's not buying into what you offering, it's still gonna make you feel like you're not good enough. Yeah, it happens to celebrities. Like look at Khloe Kardashian. Okay, Khloe thought she was, I think, at some point the best person ever. Had it going on. She didn't have to follow the standards of her sister. And then somewhere along the line, I guess dealing with these different men started to chip away at her confidence about herself. So she probably felt like she wasn't worthy of anything. You know what I'm saying? Herself, you know, feeling like she wasn't good enough too. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, either way, you said a lot, but I still think that your first statement was valid. But let's go ahead and keep going. The question is, do you believe Timmy that you and Timmy were good for each other and might have worked out if you had more time in the villa? She says, absolutely, no doubt about it. No doubt in my mind. If I was there on day one, I have no doubts that Timmy and I would have had a very strong connection. And I'm sure they probably would have. I don't doubt that. I think if she would have been number one standing next to Zeta and Bria, he probably would have went for Bria because that's what he's used to. The connection would have been great. I think the connection, at least the sexual chemistry between the both of them, the sexual connection, I think it was very, very strong. You know what I'm saying? So I think that she could have a very strong, valid point about that. All right. And we probably would have went up for Bimmy. Okay, Bria or Brimmy, whatever you want to call it, Bria and Tim, we probably would have went up for them. You know, had she been there from the very, very beginning. Okay. The other question is, have you been keeping up with the episodes after your elimination? What do you think about Serenity's elimination? Do you wish Chaz had stayed with her, or do you think Kat is better for him? She says, I've definitely been keeping up, of course. I'm always rooting Chaz on. I don't think that Serenity necessarily had my complete blessing in the villa. Ooh, so when she says this, guys, this for me confirms that Chaz eliminated Serenity out of revenge for his sister being eliminated, which means Serenity was never lying when she said that he was calculated. For me, yes, calculation goes all the way back to when he first entered the villa when I never liked him from the beginning. Okay. It was the pandering for me. And everybody else praised him. All right. So I definitely saw through Chaz right from the beginning. My dislike for him isn't anything new. All right. It's from the moment he walked in. What else happened? So she says that she don't feel like Serenity had her full blessing, or she had Serenity's full blessing from the beginning. She says there was the huge age gap, and also I don't think she was meeting Chaz halfway, and that was just evident for everyone to see. I think it was inevitable that at some point they did part ways. It kind of sucked that she had to go home as a result of them parting ways, but I'm hopeful that Chaz will find a new connection in the villa, right? Well, we'll see. Maybe he'll find him a connection in the Casa Amor girls, because Kat is not it. Kat is guaranteed, in my opinion, going to bring somebody back from Casa Amor. That's what I think we are going to see, even if the Casa Amor guys are just not giving. And I agree with Bria, like it sucks that it resulted, them two parting ways resulted in her leaving. And I wish that it would not have been that way. I wish she would have been able to find her somebody else, because she just wasn't that into him. You know what I'm saying? She just wasn't. And Chaz may have tried, and maybe what he was trying was like genuine. Maybe that's just how he is as a man. But I just felt like it was being fake right out the gate. Okay. So that's just that for me. What else happened? She says, hopefully with some fresh new faces, but not Kat. Sorry. Oh, will we see each other, Miss Bria? Because Bria doesn't see Kat being that girl either, because Kat was desperate. She was anxious, ready to get into the villa. Okay. She says, I think Kat and Chaz have a great friendship, and that is the foundation of any relationship, because they have some similar interests and things like that. I think they'd be good friends, but as far as a romantic connection, I don't think so. Okay. So that was pretty much everything that was discussed in this interview that Miss Bria did, girl. And I just wanted to bring that to the forefront and let you guys know about what all took place. I don't really like that it seems as though she's putting things off on Miss Zeta, but not putting things off on motherfucking Timmy. Okay, because at the end of the day, whether Zeta was applying pressure or not, all right, all she did was just told him, like, what's up, what we doing, let's be clear. All right. So that's all that she was doing. Timmy, at the end of the day, made the decision. He had more of a connection. He missed her just as much as she missed him. But I understand Bria feeling a way about it because again, we don't know what all Timmy was really telling her that made her think that he was really all in with her. He could have been telling her some stuff. So for her on the outside looking in, she probably didn't want to believe that he was going against her. She probably felt like the whole time it was Zeta going against her and the other ladies not being so welcoming of her when she arrived. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And I don't even know if the ladies in the house were heavily influenced by Zeta and not wanting to welcome her. I don't know. But maybe the ladies in the villa saw exactly what we saw on the outside and just felt like, nah, we not featuring her. She trying to snatch up her Timmy, and they about the strongest couple here. We like the connection. But, also, girl, it was just how you handled that conversation and stuff too, ma'am. You tried to play in this lady's face, and that lady was not allowing you to play with her. Okay, she saw right through you, and you walked into the house not trying to make yourself a girl's girl, shall I say? Not trying to make yourself as friendly to the women because you came in there leading with a threat. That's what I feel. You came to me, so you think the lady saw you as a threat. I mean, that's what you wanted. In my opinion, I think you came in there ready to be a threat to somebody, and they just showed you just how much they don't fuck with threats. And I hate that for you, okay? But wishing you the best of luck. Okay, so that's really all that I got. I wanted to bring you guys a quick recap discussion about this Love Island interview that Miss Bria did. I want you guys to hop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts about it. That's all that I got. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.